we need to attract international companies to Cabo Verde. We already have a strong goal of being a hub for technology in West Africa, and we want to convince international companies to establish here in Cabo Verde. And in order to do that, we build a tech park, not just to serve the country, but to serve the entire sub-region. We want the diaspora that study in the best universities and work for multinational companies or even have their own business to return to Cabo Verde. So the power of diaspora is important. And
hello guys, welcome to Africa Tech Talks, where we explore the exciting tech landscape of the Portuguese-speaking countries of the African continent. Today, we're joined by Cabo Verde Secretary of State for Digital Economy, Pedro Lopes. Pedro is a well-renowned politician, having participated in the Mandela Washington Fellowship, Obama Foundation, and currently serving as a member of the World Economic Forum. His passion for technology and innovation is evident in his contribution to Cabo Verde, where he has spearheaded initiatives like digital literacy and digital nomad programs. In our insightful conversation, we delved into challenges and opportunities facing Cabo Verde and Africa in the digital realm. And Pedro shared his insights on technology and how it can transform lives and economies, taking advantage of the digital forces shaping the world. He also highlighted the importance of governance and government support for tech initiatives, emphasizing on how Cabo Verde is establishing itself as a hub for innovation and growth. And in his vision for Cabo Verde, the country can be the most prolific tech hub in Africa. Hope you enjoy our conversation. If you like the channel, subscribe, and I hope you put a like on our video. Thank you. Hello, Mrs. Secretary of State. First of all, thank you for coming to our show. And without taking much more time, I would like to ask you, your roots from Cabo Verde, well, you were born in Coimbra, but you have roots in Cabo Verde. What motivated you to come to your family home country?
Well, I believe that there is a new generation that is moved by purpose and not moved by financial goals, and I'm part of that generation. I wanted to give a contribution to the land of my father and the land of my grandparents, and it was something that was inside me, calling me to return to Cabo Verde. We are a small country, but everyone here is very proud to pass the culture to their child. So I was part of that. I'm part of that generation that is coming back and trying to add value, but also to connect with the roots. And I think it's important because, or else you're going to feel there is an empty space inside you. And I was feeling that. I was working and traveling around the world, but I always wanted to return to Cabo Verde, and that's what I did 10 years ago, and I never left.
I totally understand that. Actually, I'm in Angola for 16 years, and the challenges that we face, the life that we get, it's extremely different from being in Europe, where everything is already made. So I totally take your choice and get your choice. But of course, and the challenges mean you have to solve a lot of problems. From your experience, what have been the leading challenges for Cabo Verde and for Africa in the digital world?
Well, if you talk, Africa is a big continent.
Yes.
Well, the major problem in Africa is a lack of access to electricity, for example. If you don't have access to electricity, you're not going to be connected. Also, internet connection, reliable internet connection, stability, most of all. Luckily, in Cabo Verde, we don't have those challenges. We have 85 access per 100 citizens. We still have gray areas, but we need to improve that. But the majority of the population, they have reliable and good access to the internet. I always say that here in Cabo Verde, you're not going to have the government shut down the internet, even if there is some instability, because, well, the country is well known as well for the power of the institutions and how reliable they are, and how they are, how Cabo Verde is a beacon of democracy. So that's not part of our challenges. Of course, we have other challenges. We need to train more people in digital. We need to attract international companies to Cabo Verde. We already have a strong goal of being a hub for technology in West Africa, and we want to convince international companies to establish here in Cabo Verde. And in order to do that, we build a tech park not just to serve the country, but to serve the entire sub-region. We want the diaspora that study in the best universities and work for multinational companies or even have their own business to return to Cabo Verde. So the power of diaspora is important. And one, we don't want to feel to suffer from a brain drain. We want to talent to remain here. Of course, first of all, we have to share this goal and to share the dream. So we are in the process of telling people what are our goals. Sometimes people think that a small country cannot have big goals, but Cabo Verde always proved the opposite. We position ourselves in the top of the rankings of all the human development indexes in Africa. And we want to be known by our stability, but also we want to be known as people that can use innovation to be disruptive, to present solutions not just to our country, but to the world.
Mm-hmm. You have a special geography. I remember listening to your interview saying that you have a very special geography that is somehow a positive point in the Cabo Verde side. But I also would like to know about the regulation and what are you guys doing in Cabo Verde that is trying to change this system in this environment in the regulatory system.
Well, we follow international standards. We want to strike equilibrium, a balance between innovation, but at the same time protecting citizens' rights. And I think that is the future of digital will pass through regulation. We have to regulate digital. Of course, also digital is a space of freedom, but also should be a space for respect for the others, respect as well for others' data, respect for many other things that are presenting themselves as challenges in this world that is changing so fast. Look at, for example, the contribution for the erosion of democracy that we are suffering because of digital, and it's not just that we have artificial intelligence coming to our houses and things changing so fast that we need to regulate those things. Here in Cabo Verde, like I said, we want to strike a balance, not blocking people to innovate because of a strong regulation, or even some regulation that is too strict. But at the same time, we want to protect, like I said, our citizens. I believe that the future of regulation in the world in terms of digital will pass to political blocks. I already said that. And I think in the future, we have to face this challenge and think, okay, how can we do that? How can small states or even small island states like Cabo Verde can be protected in a world that is dominated by big tech? In the world that is dominated by major companies that are in tech. So I think if we see United States and even the European Union facing challenges because of that, I think in the future, everyone will suffer those challenges. And a global regulation will be very difficult because the world is very polarized. But I think regional and political blocks will come up and will align with the same vision and the same framework for a strong regulation.
Yes, and I think somehow with those big threats and those big challenges, you also have big opportunities because we feel from the outside that Cabo Verde is positioning themselves as a tech hub for Africa, and Africa is a big market, and you're the trailblazers for this new generation, and the programs that you guys are creating these days, like the digital literacy, they're making an history, and I would like to talk about that, if you may. Um, what do you believe? What made you believe in such program, and what have been the results of it?
Well, everyone, when we talk about digital economy, everyone talks about market and capital. We like to say that the first thing and the base should be talent. So we need to train this young generation for the future. They cannot be just spectators of this world that is changing so fast. They need to be actors. So it's our responsibility to train future generations to be actors of this world that is changing so fast. Like I said, so here in Cabo Verde, we created a program called Web Lab, and we train more than 20,000 young kids, teaching them the principles of robotics, the principles of coding. But it's not just that. We also started with programs for converting the young unemployed people into coders, and we want to continue. I think we need to do even more. In our tech park, we'll have a training center that will serve not just to train Cape Verdeans, but also to serve Africans that speak Portuguese from Angola, from Mozambique, from São Tomé, for Guinea-Bissau, but also West Africans. We want to be a safe haven for the talent in terms of innovation, for startups, and I think we have all the conditions, also because of the things that I mentioned before, like stability. Here, people would love to live in a place where the government is not chasing you, rule of law is respected, you don't have traffic, you have beautiful beaches, sun the entire year. So all of those things are what we believe that will be important to attract talent. Also, being small means being flexible and being agile. And we want to develop our country through digital. So we are making a call for bright minds to locate here in Cabo Verde, to come to Cabo Verde, to not leave Cabo Verde, and we believe that is the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have mentioned that innovation will be one of the key pillars of your program, and that goes with the development of a proper entrepreneurial and competitive ecosystem. We have heard about the Tech Hub. What have been the results so far?
Well, we again, when we talk about startups and tech, everyone talks about an ecosystem. Before you have an ecosystem, you need a community. So Cabo Verde has been a reference in the last 15 years or more, 20 years maybe, in terms of e-governance in Africa. And we want to continue to be a reference in e-governance. We believe that e-governance is one of the ways to make the connection between government and citizens better. But we also believe that this is time for our private sector, our startups. So we created a scholarship for creating startups in the last 4 years. With the scholarship, we already created more than 100 startups, giving the opportunity for more than 200 entrepreneurs to start their business and to pass from an idea to a business. Of course, many of them will fail. We want them to fail fast. But we want here in Cabo Verde that people can, present solutions for our challenges through technology, test them here, and then scale their ideas to the rest of the continent. So the results so far have been good. We created many programs to give power to this community that we call them digital warriors. also to spread the word in the world about our goals, the tech islands of West Africa. And I think, of course, this is not something that you're going to see after 6 months or 1 or 2 years, but with time, you're going to see concrete results. And our concrete goal is to have these young people contributing for the GDP of Cabo Verde, diversifying our economy, and also, like I said before as well, presenting Cabo Verde as a place where you can find solutions with tech for the world. You can find a lot of talent here, and well, those are our goals.
Okay. And considering that this program can also impact the whole community in the diaspora, how have you been able to get this community in the diaspora closer to the country? And how have you been able to capture all the potential that exists in the diaspora?
Mm. That's a great question. We believe that our community, part of our community, is also our diaspora. So we need to engage with them. And when you talk about a country of the future with big goals and progressive goals, you connect with the progressive diaspora. That's what we are doing. When we go to international events, we have Cape Verdeans that live abroad coming and just getting close to us and telling us that they would not expect to see Cabo Verde in these international events. They not expect to see Cabo Verde having this type of bold goals. So I think this is something that is important to connect with the diaspora, but we want to do more. That's why we created a program called Cicabado. It's a sentence of our poet Eugênio Tavares that says that if you don't leave, you cannot return. So Cicabado Catavirado, it's in Creole. And our people always have that sense of nostalgia and but also this need of leaving the country. But now we are telling them to return. And through this program, we want to give them fiscal incentives, and we want to give them also places for them to establish in our tech park. We want to create a program dedicated to them, and with the support of international institutions, we want to open a competition for bringing back 10 startups of the diaspora with Cape Verdean founders that live abroad back to Cabo Verde. So I think the political narrative needs to be needs to have a concrete impact with a program, and that's what we want to do. We believe that they can add value to our community. They have a big network. They have a lot of expertise. So combined with local talent, it can be something special. So I think the future of Africa will pass as well to this combination between local talent plus the diaspora that study in the best universities, work for major companies, and now because they want to add value and also they want to connect with the land of their parents, they are returning. So I think this is something that we're going to keep spreading this message of bright minds, time to return and return to the promised land. I believe Cabo Verde has been a country always of with a big diaspora. The double of the population lives abroad compared with the local ones. We talk about 500,000 people, but more than 1 million Cape Verdeans live abroad. So imagine the potential that we have and the opportunities that we cannot miss.
Sure.
Mr. Secretary of State Pedro Lopes, the future for Cabo Verde seems very, very bright. I have a couple of questions for you. First of all, let me personally congratulate you and the government of Cabo Verde for all the initiatives that you have been doing. You stated earlier that this is something that started more than 20 years ago. I believe the first e-government initiative was in 1998, I think. So Cabo Verde is not a young player in this kind of initiatives in digitization. Actually, Cabo Verde, I have a couple of notes here. Cabo Verde internet penetration rate stood above 69%. So this is a quite high penetration rate. It's above world average. It's definitely above East Africa, West Africa. I mean, a lot of progress is being done in this area. And I just wanted to pick up earlier. You mentioned, and my colleague Andre mentioned the importance of regulation in the digitization of a country like Cape Verde. How do you think the regulation affects also the development of your infrastructure? Now we have data protection laws and privacy laws. Everything is new around the world. You are putting out some e-government services. This also affects cybersecurity, right? Because the more digitized you get, the more exposition you also get, or potentially vulnerable. And also this as I perceived, this is a strategy for the Cabo Verde to diversify its economy, which is highly reliant on tourism. How do you say the importance of all of this, the regulation, affects the development of GDP, infrastructure, and all those areas?
Well, yes, our goal is to diversify our economy through digital. Big part of our GDP comes from the tourism sector. We want to continue to bet on tourism. Tourism is super important for Cabo Verde, but we want to do it as well with digital. We want digital to give a big contribution for our GDP. Well, the importance of regulation, I said it in the previous question. I think we'll have a lot of challenges in the future because nowadays internet is one of well, it's like continue your world, but in digital. So everything you buy online, you work online, you connect online. So everything is online. So we need to think at digital, not like we were thinking before, right? Like something that is an hobby, you use it for fun. No, it's way more serious than that. It's, some people just live online nowadays. And in the future, we'll have more and more people just completely living online. So we need countries to regulate the use of the internet. Because it cannot be a place without law, and of course for a small country, like I said, we're going to have challenges, but not just small countries. Major and big companies, big tech, they are taking control over the world. I think they achieve fantastic things, but we need to strike a balance between the will of going forward with innovation and then at the same time respecting people's rights. So this is going to be a challenge for the future, for sure. Here in Cabo Verde, we want to be a hub of innovation and technology for West Africa. We want to test solutions here. We like to say if you are not harming the environment or people, come and test your solutions here in Cabo Verde. Of course, we want to respect international standards, and we are talking every single day with international institutions to see what can be done to regulate this world that is changing so fast. And we are seeing even artificial intelligence. The European Union is still fighting to approve a law that can be adapted to the entire European Union. So, while we are taking attention to this, we're gonna continue to see what other countries and other organizations that support us are recommending to Cabo Verde. But for sure, we want to go fast, but also we want to go fast and safe. And like I said, Cabo Verde is well respected by the stability of the country, and we want to continue to be respected for our stability.
Great, thank you. So I have this. There's this report by the International Finance Corporation that says that by 2030, over 230 million jobs in Africa will require digital skills. So this goes along with Cabo Verde's strategy, I believe. How are foreign? You mentioned in the previous question that you are already collaborating with foreign entities. How are they specifically engaging with Cabo Verde's government and Cabo Verde's digitization initiatives? And by the way, just one question: is Starlink already working and has coverage in Cabo Verde?
Okay, I'll answer to the last question. I think it's in pre-order still. Last time when I checked, it was in pre-order, but we already have satellite companies that want to operate here in Cabo Verde, providing internet services. That being said, the future needs to pass through digital training. So we see in Portugal the need, for example, of people with IT skills. The former Minister of Economy, when Pedro Vieira, when he visited Cabo Verde, told us that in the future, in the next 2 or 3 years, Portugal will need 50,000 people with IT skills. We visited Brazil recently as well for Web Summit Rio, and we talked with President Lula, and he told us that Brazil will need between 300 and 500,000 people with IT skills in the future. So when we position ourselves as a place of innovation and technology, we have companies coming to us. We already established partnerships with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and they will train with us young Cape Verdeans, and then they will, when they finish their training, they start working for them. Also, we did that with Bravantic. We did that with Visionware. Visionware even established a rapid response center for cyber threats here in Cabo Verde with young Cape Verdeans. They already hired more than 30 Cape Verdeans, and this is is completely aligned with our strategy, having Cape Verdeans working here, but as a hub of services through digital. So I think this is going to be the future of Cabo Verde, and we believe we can present solutions to Brazil, to Portugal, but other parts of the world. We started with English in the 5th grade for everyone, because English is the future of is the language of the internet, and we believe that the future generations will be able to present their services to international markets. So with IT skills, with English, with also the right infrastructure, with internet connection, well, they can work for everywhere in the world, but from Cabo Verde, and that's our goal, to continue to establish partnerships with international companies to train young people here, and then taking advantage of their talent pay them a fair salary, and well, giving them all the conditions to take advantage of the digital work. Also, we are now we signed a partnership with Microsoft. We want Microsoft to be an important partner of our vision, and in the future, I think next year and the next 2-3 years, we're going to have fantastic news. But we have partnerships with countries and with international organizations, and also major companies that want to establish here, and that's what we are doing. Establish partnerships with the best, because we have big goals and we want to continue to grow, but with strong partnerships, and especially with private sector.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary of State. The future really looks bright for Cape Verde.
Or at
Thank
least
you.
the readiness stage is far ahead.
So it seems like Cabo Verde is doing a wonderful job, and it's taking it's taking its size and its geostrategic position in the middle of the Atlantic to attract people. As I heard you in some interviews saying that you want to attract the digital nomads as well. I've been there personally. I love Cape Verde, and I understand why you want that. It's very easy to understand that. So from my perspective, and you correct me if I'm wrong, so you're taking this opportunity of not being connected to any other country directly without having the sea in between, but you're taking it as an opportunity because you can work from Cape Verde with the cable. With just a cable, you can work from Cape Verde to anywhere in the world, anywhere in Africa, and all you want now is talent and create the conditions in the country so that they can prosper, right?
Exactly. We are in a crosswalk between continents. So you are 1 hour away from Dakar, Senegal, 3 hours and a half to Lisbon, Europe. The closest African country to US, the closest African country to Brazil. So we need to take advantage of this geographical position, and we need to capitalize on that. And that's what we are doing. We, like I said, betting on infrastructures like the tech park, but also with the sea submarine cable, the state-of-art sea submarine cable, the Ella Link, to improve our connectivity and giving power to this community of digital warriors. So I believe with this bet on infrastructure, bet on as well on people, and we can, with that we can achieve great things. So I know that sometimes this goal looks a bit bold, but we believe that this boldness that is gonna put Cabo Verde in the right path. With digital nomads, we created a program called Remote Working Cabo Verde, because we have many people like you, Andrea, that visit us, but they want to remain. They don't want to leave. And it's not just tech people, but nowadays you have designers, you have marketeers, well, people that can work remotely, basically. Because sometimes you have this idea that it's just tech people that can work remotely, but no, you have many other people working remotely nowadays. And we are creating an opportunity for them to stay here. They can stay up to 1 year. They don't have to pay taxes in Cabo Verde. They just have to present basic income, present that they don't have any criminal record. They do the application online, and well, it's pretty simple. We want them to as well to connect with local communities, local startups, with local talent, because we see that these digital nomads and remote workers, they want to feel part of the community. And here in Cabo Verde, if you do well for the community, you're really gonna feel embraced. It's one of the assets of Cabo Verde. We are very open to the world. So we started this program 2 years ago. We have a lot of things to learn. I think in the next year we're going to have, and we are creating all the conditions to have international event of digital nomads here in Cabo Verde. But we want to attract people to establish here in Cabo Verde, and that's why we created this program, and we believe that it's important for our ecosystem as well, because they can add value, they can promote the country, I think everyone wanted to work close to our fantastic beaches with the sun the entire year, and everything that we have to offer in terms of culture, in terms of
good waves.
the
waves.
art of receiving people. Yes, the waves as well.
For surf.
We have this word morabeza, that is the art of receiving people. So I think everyone will feel very good when they visit Cabo Verde, and a lot of them, if they want to stay here for a season or more, well, they are more than welcome.
Whenever I was there, I felt very welcome. I stayed at this hotel, which is normal when we go there. And it's funny because I needed to print something very urgently and send something through the internet. And I had to travel middle of the night. And it was very funny because the driver helped us. He presented this the cousin. The cousin had the internet. And it was really, really welcoming to be there. And then he took us to the bars. A fantastic time in Cabo Verde.
It's a strong sense of community that is still very present here, and I think that is fantastic. Of course, world is being more and more digital, but we cannot lose this fantastic thing that is the sense of community and what connects us. That is love. So when you see someone that need help, Cape Verdeans are here to help.
Yes, I felt that. Mrs. Secretary, do you have any final notes that you want to share with us?
No, I just want to tell you that it's important that you keep giving visibility to African entrepreneurs and African policymakers, and I think it's fantastic that you guys through this podcast help so many people to spread the ideas and the things that they are doing. So for us, thank you so much for this opportunity. It was a pleasure to speak with you, Ivo, Vitor, and Andre, and count on Cabo Verde. It's time to be digital.
Always.
For sure.
Ivo, you're not with the microphone on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hope to see you in the podcast in the near future, telling us about